Acaras are an active, interesting cichlid from South America originally. They are a really nice, easygoing fish that can tolerate a range of parameters. pH wise, anything between about 6.5 and 8.5, and a temperature zone of about 23 to 28 Celsius or 75 to 82 Fahrenheit. As long as you keep the water nice and clean, they're going to thrive in those ranges. These electric blue Acara, when they're little, look almost like your electric blue rams, but Acaras are going to get much bigger. That means although they're quite peaceful themselves, they do get big enough and they're robust enough to handle bigger fish as company. So you can keep them with the likes of severums and angelfish. Alternatively, rainbow fish make good companions, and then you can keep them with smaller community fish like your cories, plecos, some of the larger tetras. A South American species tank is ideal. I find they make a great planted tank community fish. They're alright with rooted plants. The only time I've noticed them digging up plants is when they're wanting to move their babies underneath the roots for a bit of protection. They'll appreciate a planted tank, in fact, and if you can add a bit of bogwood, stuff like that, it'll make them feel right at home. Because of the size they get to, so males in captivity generally between 5 and 6 inches. I have heard 7, but it's not common. The female's slightly smaller. They're going to want a bigger tank, so I'm going to say a minimum of a 3-foot tank, and length is more important to them than height, although they do use all areas of the tank. They're going to prefer a sandy substrate. They do nuzzle in about it every now and then looking for food scraps, and a darker substrate and background is going to show off their colours a little more. They make a lovely single centrepiece fish, but if you do want to keep more than one, you can tell the sexes apart. The male's fin goes to more of a pointed tip, whereas the female's is a little more rounder, and the male gets slightly bigger. If you do have both sexes and they're in good conditions, chances are they're going to want to breed. They prefer a leaf to breed on actually, but they'll accept a flat rock or even a cave, which is easy to defend. And one of the first signs that they may be wanting to breed is you might notice them dragging a leaf across the tank to where they're wanting it, and then they'll start cleaning the leaf and the immediate area. If you don't have any leaves, then it will be a rock surface or a cave that you'll notice them doing this about. And you can see in this clip, the breeding tubes are extended, which is another good sign. Once they've laid their eggs is the only time I've noticed any aggression out of these fish. They seem to get on with most other fish. And even then, they don't attack their tank mates, but they certainly chase them away from their breeding site. I've noticed that the mother seems to do most of the parenting, whereas the father tends to guard the wider area and chase the other fish off. But in any case, once they're happy with their spawning ground, you'll notice the female make passes along the surface and deposit the eggs. Then the male will follow in behind, fertilizing them. It's fascinating to watch, it really is. And obviously the best thing you can do at this stage is leave them alone as much as possible and let them do what they want to do. If you do want to observe the whole process, then I would say dim the lights in the room. Move up to the tank slowly as you can and try not to make any sudden movements or have any loud noises going on. If they are startled, there's a danger that they may eat the eggs in order to conserve the protein to try again later on. So ideally we don't want that to happen, hey? If all goes well though, for a first spawn you can have up to tens to eventually hundreds of eggs. We can see the fry forming inside the eggs from pretty early on, and it only takes a day or two for them to start to want to hatch out. Since we do get so many eggs, and they are able to reproduce again just a couple of weeks later, we really need to have a plan for what we're going to do with all the babies. But if you go to bed and come down in the morning and can't find them, don't fret too much. Chances are Mum has been a very good parent and moved her wigglers to a safer spot, such as in the roots of plants, as I said before, where she can guard them better. She can bring food to them once they have used up their egg sacs, and also pick up the odd straggler and drop it back in the middle of the group. At this stage, you can leave them at it. If they're in a species only tank, chances are the parents will do a good job of raising them and keeping them safe. Alternatively, as long as you keep the water parameters the same, you can move the eggs to a hatch out tank on the leaf or on the rock, wait till they hatch, or wait until they're free swimming, suck them up in a turkey baster ever so gently, and then deposit them into a grow out tank. Believe it or not, this is a spawn just 2 days after becoming free swimming. They've already got some markings and already got some great wee character. I start feeding mine on microworms and baby brine shrimp right away. After that, we can start adding some powdered flake and other foods. Acara are predominantly carnivores, but kind of omnivorous as well. They'll accept anything. Protein-rich foods will encourage the fry to grow quicker, but as they move into adulthood, they'll accept flake, pellet, frozen, live, pretty much anything, like I say. Even the odd vegetable from time to time. They might not always be willing to share. They're enthusiastic eaters, so if you keep them with fish that are slower at eating, you need to make sure everyone's getting a meal. But keep your Acara well, in good conditions and happy, and you are going to have a beautiful fish that you can enjoy for up to 10 years.